Hello, my name is Matiriso, and with the understanding that the reason land reform takes such a slow process is that there's a fear that is embedded that if land were to be given to those who it was stolen from, they wouldn't utilize it in a way that benefits the economy. So the best way to minimize that fear is to educate the public and the indigenous South Africans about utilizing the land, farming, agriculture, and gardening in their own home, be it in the large scale such as commercial farming or community gardens or your own little garden at home. Whispers of Hope aims to inspire to do just that. It educates as well, tells a simple, intricate story about three different characters living their own different life, and the fabric of it all being land and the use of land and its resources and benefits. Within this challenge, we faced a lot of issues, not issues per se, but challenges rather, such as our budget being really taken and torn when it rained in one of the farms that we were going to shoot at, where the weather said that it was going to be fine, but it turned out it rained and we had to rebook the same space again because again it's a farm, it's people's spaces. You can't just be like, no, it's raining, I know we booked for today, but let's do it. So we had to rebook that, which was good because before shooting we had communicated with many commercial community and grocery stores about this idea and see in what way can they help us during the process of shooting as well as after financially, or allowing us to market in their own spaces, which we got many positive reviews. We got food, vegetables, fruit, vegetables, things that can be stored that can last for a long time, that allowed us to look less into a catering service and more into harnessing and equipping our own cooking skills. We meal prepped the whole entire thing. Everybody meal prepped, and it was a small crew, so everybody understood what was required, what was needed, and what was important. Our locations, our CDS costume designers, our PD, our production designer, everybody was in on this project, which made it so much easier because we had so many creative ideas and creative differences, which was a positive, because when you're telling a stories that is in a format of a film but kind of can be told in a documentary type of style, you need a lot of collaboration from every department to make the story be what you need it to be, what you envision it to be, and portray the message that it needs to be onto the audience, and for the audience to take what they have learned and implement it in their own lives. So that requires collaboration, that requires different ideas. So that was encouraged. The creative differences were truly encouraged because it brought something that each one of us didn't know. Someone came with an insight that we didn't think of, because we're all South Africans, but we're all from different parts of South Africa. So someone understood differently what farming or the land meant to them as compared to someone else, and we utilized that as to draw in a large number of audience, which we had researched extensively to understand and to see whether that was going to pay out at the end when we had to invite people in to come and watch the film, which successfully I can now say with a calm breath, oh my God, thank goodness we did what we had to do to get the people into the cinema, because it wouldn't what it is now. It's trending on Twitter, it's trending on TikTok, they're talking about on the YouTube channels, on Facebook, on Instagram, on all major social platforms. It's just there. The only place we haven't looked into is Reddit, but I'm sure there's an r/ Whispers of Hope bound to come about in there. So with those creative differences, of course, came time management. And time management, creative differences, any type of issues that might have arisen during the day of shoot, because we had previous experiences with working on sets and we had feelings of what we would do differently. We took everything that we learned outside of this crew and this set, and we said let's prepare for this and this and this, so that we are not stealing time from other essential things just to catch up on something we should have planned for long before. So it took months upon months, just 6 months to be exact, to prepare for a 7-day shoot. That is preparation. We did not want to leave anything into luck or chance or we'll do it in post. We do not want any of that. We wanted the film to just be there, and the only problem we should be having, or we were hoping to encounter, is that of maybe a plane falling into it. But even that, we looked into it. We looked, are there any flight crafts coming about? Is there anything that's going to disturb our sounds? The rain, the weather, everything was looked into 6 months prior to the day of shooting. So everything was set. We learned a lot about problem solving, because again, it's life, things happen, you never really know where you at, what's going on. So we had a person outside of the crew and cast that will be able to manage our internal affairs, sort of a therapist, but in a way that we can afford them, just a safe space for someone to communicate that how exhausted, because it was exhausting. It was an exhausting project. It required a lot from us, because everybody poured everything of themselves into this project. It required that so much more. So you needed someone to communicate with, someone um, to let loose, to let the stress just simply fade away. So I'm glad that we opted to do that instead of just figuring it out on our own. Most of it we did. We had the moment of you know of togetherness, of ubuntu, and eating together. That was always something. We laughed together, we planned together. Each time during lunchtime or prior to shooting, we prepared for the day. We prepared, and after every cut, we prepared what was to come next day, what we missed, contingency, continuity, b-rolls, cuts, anything that we could have needed. We prepared for it. So that made things so much easier. That made it so much easier, that when at the end we got to see the final product and saw everyone's idea just merge and make this beautiful thing, it was amazing to watch. And obviously the audience loved it, because it wouldn't be what it is at this time. And I would definitely work with this crew again. The importance of patience, understanding, collaborative, and just having ideas and allowing, not holding on to ideas. Having, anyone can have an idea, but most of us tend to hold on to the ideas. I thought about it, I had this idea, I want it to happen, and during this process, I learned to let go of ideas. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for this project. Write it down, it might work for another project. Write it down, it might work for later on. It might be something else at some other time, just not at this time. So learning of letting go of certain things, not holding things for too long, because you are with these people for this period of time, and some of them you've been with for the last 6 months now. There's this coming week that's going to be hectic. So you need space sometimes. You need to be fully understanding. You need to allow yourself to let go of rage, of anger, of annoyment, because you get annoyed. You get annoyed. So you need to also understand people. So that was a lot of things that I think, as a collective, after we shot the film, we spoke about, we learned, and there was a lot of personal growth that came from literally everybody. Because not only was it therapeutic experience, it was a challenge. It was going through fire basically, but after you come out of that, you're like, damn, I went through fire. And it was not going through fire because the filming conditions were just so stuffy and so bad, but fire is in that we had a vision, we had an idea, and we needed to achieve that idea, and we did achieve that idea, and the audience saw that, and the audience felt that. And again, on the social media, we can see how impactful that was. So it's beautiful to really watch, and I would definitely work with the crew that I worked with again, no doubt, because of all the things we learned together and grew together. We came to understand each other's creative differences, the way of communication, the way of needing something without communicating. I could just, sometimes I feel like I could just see someone looking at something and someone like, okay, yeah, I think you're like, okay, we're in sync now, because that's how intimate, professionally intimate, the cast and crew was. Of course, with a little bit of division with the cast, because the crew has been there for 6 months, and then the cast joined in the last months of that 6 months, and there's already a bond existing there, and then we create another bond, a different, unique bond that allows them to embody the story you want to tell to the cast. So it really was a journey, and whispers of hope, I truly do believe it did whisper hope out there, and hope that more of my the people in my country can utilize the spaces that they have, and we become less codependent on the government that continues to fail us. Without this getting political and getting too long, thank you so much for listening and taking interest in this film that we shot. I am happy it came out the way that it did. Could not have imagined anything better. Thank you.